Vilayati Kikar. One can see that in about 8 years' time, this has grown very fast. The stem on the left side has gone almost to about 15 feet on the left side, whereas the central stem has gone high as about nearly 40 feet. And the stem on the right side has again gone nearly about 15 feet. And before that, on this end, this part of this branch was cut, which was going further about 10 feet. One can see that this tree, the Vilayati Kikar, is going almost 40 feet high. At the same time, the diameter of the canopy of this tree is about 50 feet. Vilayati Kikar at this C block community center, NH block, the Rana Vihar, is creating havoc. As already in one of the media I mentioned that these kikar trees need to be uprooted from its roots. You can see that they are spreading like anything, and this tree which is cut is already not falling because the other kikar tree is supporting it not to fall. Now these kikar trees, they need to be cut first from the branches, so that after the branches are cut, the stem can be cut later on, can be uprooted later on. But at least with this exercise, the tree would not give the flowers or the seeds. And you can see that how this has fallen down, and still that tree is being supported by the other tree. You can see that now this is being cut from the continuation of the already cut branch, and you can see further that how this cut branch is kept separately. This is such a big branch that this is covering a lot of space in the park. You see, this is removed and kept somewhere else for cutting the branches. Like this, the whole tree will be cut into branches and then the stem will be removed. Now we go ahead and see how the rest of the remaining part of the tree is dragged onto the soil, and of course this probably also need to be removed in parts, because the whole of the tree, the bigger part of the tree which is not coming down because of the support of the surrounding tree. So both these trees will come together and they will be brought down, but still keeping the stem there only, and removed later on. You can see that stem is still there. This stem is still there. Now this tree has got another tree, same kikar, going with the other direction. This also needs to be removed. Now the same tree which is already cut, another branch is fallen down, and all this like this, the branches will be brought down. You see that another tree branch is cut. We'll continue removing all these big branches from the tree, and they will be removed slowly. This is a special saw which I brought, which I purchased to prune the trees and to cut all these branches of the Vilayati Kikar slowly, because otherwise there is no way that you can reach the top of these big branches to remove them, because as such the wood of these trees is very, very strong, and one is likely to fall. It goes on the hard side of the branches. You can see another branch is cut, and the saw is used and cutting the branches of the Vilayati Kikar. Just for example, this is also getting removed as it should fall down. After that, I'll close the video because it's not possible to have a longer video to see that this is being cut and it has fallen down. There you are. This is going to be removed. Vilayati Kikar. Here is few big branches of the Vilayati Kikar tree which have been cut from the top of the trees, and you can see that there are the huge branches which had covered a big area of the plot, and this was not allowing the other trees to grow because they have covered those trees. Now further it can be seen that these trees, they have got large number of pods. These pods are in huge number on one tree. It may be probably up to the extent of hundreds of these pods on one tree, and one can further see that these pods of this tree, they have got almost 20 seeds. Thus, with one tree there can be the seeds which goes to thousands, and that's how these trees, they grow in number in thousands during the rainy season. And further, these trees, these seeds, they grow in large number. Vilayati Kikar. You can see that near this tree of sagwan, there is a tree of Vilayati Kikar which is grown along with near that sagwan tree, and This is going to the height of nearly 50 feet. But the thing is to note is that sagwan tree, which was planted much more earlier, a few years earlier than this Vilayati Kikar, which had come grown about 5 years, is very thin its stem, and this is what I want to demonstrate, that the Vilayati Kikar does not allow the tree nearby to grow, because whole of the nutrition and water and everything is taken up by with this Vilayati Kikar, which grows very fast. There is another samel tree which was planted about 7 years ago, and at the same time this Vilayati Kikar, which had come of its own about 5 years ago, has grown so high, again nearly up to the height of nearly 50 feet. But the samel tree, the stem is very thin and it has not grown so much fast. Another samel tree, which is again thinned in stem, which was planted about 8 years ago, whereas the Vilayati Kikar, which had come its own about 5 years ago, has grown much more thicker and longer as well, in the very high in the height, going almost 40 feet. The shoka tree, which has been in existence for the last almost 12 years, but this Vilayati Kikar tree had come up only about 4-5 years ago. So much effect of the Vilayati Kikar was there on to this Ashoka tree, that the Ashoka tree had practically shriveled off, and the few of the leaves have come up again about 4 months ago. Thus the effect of the Vilayati Kikar on the Ashoka tree was so much that the tree rather died than of increasing in height.